Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of No Title Needed at Feinstein's in the beautiful Hotel Carmichael in the heart of Carmel, Indiana. I am Judy Fitzgerald.
And I am Scott Osborne.
And we are your co-hosts today. I am stepping in for my lovely partner, Miss Cynthia Collins, who is off in rehearsal for an incredible play, and we will miss her greatly. But we are lucky because we have an incredible guest today. We have the executive director of IF Theater, home of the Indy Fringe, Mr. Paul Daly. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me on today.
Hey, thanks for being here.
So thrilled. Well, one thing to say is that I guess Fringe, this is going to be its 21st year. Is that correct?
That's right. We're old enough to drink now.
That's right. Oh my gosh, right. Well, there's plenty to celebrate.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, and Actors Theater of Indiana is also 21
That's
this year.
right.
Is that right?
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm the
Yeah.
artistic director and co-founder of Actors Theater of Indiana, as you mentioned, and we are 21 years too. So we are all started together, which is crazy to think about it. But you're somewhat newer.
I am. I've been with the festival for about 2 years now. And when I started, actually, I talked to all kinds of people across the community to get their take on Indy Fringe. And what I heard over and over, I'd ask people, what do you think of Indy Fringe? And they'd always say, well, most of them would just start talking about the festival. And that's great.
Right.
People know about the festival and love it. Some people would say, do you mean the theater or the festival? Because we have a year-round operation, but nobody really knew about what we were doing year-round, and if they did, they didn't have a way to talk about it. So shortly after I started, we rebranded to IF Theater.
Yeah, and that was one thing when I was looking at everything. Naturally, I thought Fringe right away. But you all, I mean, you're year-round and you do all sorts of plays, and I think that's quite exciting. And so when did you expand? You expanded to do more year-round after the Fringe?
We've been doing it for years now.
Okay.
For 9 to 10 years, we've been doing year-round work. What I always think about is, so there are hundreds of Fringe festivals around the world, and we are in the top 5 in the U.S. and in the top 15 in the world.
Wow.
We are really significant right here in everybody's backyard of Indianapolis. And that said, the ones that are larger than us in the U.S. have 3 times as many staff members, and their work is festival related. They're not doing the kind of year-round work we're doing, so we're doing a lot.
So if I wanted to see one of your year-round shows, is there a hub that it is typically at, or is it, are the show's locations varying?
For us, for our year-round work, it's all happening at our theater on St. Clair Street, just off of Mass Ave in the Bottle Works district.
Awesome. Great location.
But for the Fringe, you have how many venues? Like 6?
We have 6 venues. That means the 2 performance spaces at IF Theater, the 2 performance spaces at the district, and then 1 at the Athenaeum and 1 at the Murat.
Awesome.
And that's incredible. And you do everything. So it's not just it's plays, musical, dance, I mean, everything?
I think of it as a performing arts festival.
Oh, okay.
So it's all the performing arts. You can see, I love clowning. That's one of my favorite art forms. And my board still thinks I mean circus clowns. But it's a larger idea in the theater world. Mm-hmm. Clowning is this idea of everything is difficult for the person in that place. And
Kind of a Charlie Chaplin element.
Charlie Chaplin, the silent film clowns. Yes,
Right.
That's how we talk about them. They are clowns, yes.
Oh, I love that idea. I love the thought of that because you even saying that, I can just imagine that looking at everything through that kind of lens, So tell me just how many shows do you have and when do you start? Have you, in August, right? Is that correct?
So the festival itself is August 13th through the 23rd this year, and we have about 67 acts.
Wow.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And that averages to about 250 performances over the course of 11 days.
Oh my gosh. And they happen simultaneously, right?
Yes. So they all happen on the hour and a half. So it's like 6:30 show goes, runs until 7:30. From 7:30 to 8, you have a half an hour to get to the next show. And then 8 to 9 show runs.
So there are at various locations.
And they're all happening at those time slots.
And they're walkable.
Awesome.
And they're all walkable, easy to get to within that half an hour break.
How fun.
And so they do. So it's the performance. These actors go, and then they wait for the next crowd and go, right?
So it is a show comes in that half an hour time. That show has to be able to get in there, get ready to go, perform. Then in the next half an hour, they have to be able to get out while the next show comes in.
Oh my gosh!
It is pretty incredible what they're able to do. And it
That
does limit
is-
what they're bringing into the space.
I would think.
And that's why I feel so at home at this festival. I love minimalism, and this kind of work forces minimalism.
Right.
And very actor driven, which I love too. You know, you have to think outside the box, and I'll know in life, you being an artist and what I do and what you do, that it is okay. You know, you're nomads.
Right.
You figure out this venue is okay. It's 50 seats. It's all these different. And how am I going to shape something, do something, and especially getting in and out quick?
Right, you got the performance, but then you have setup and teardown. And that's a performance in itself.
It sure is. Yeah, but I just love that idea of making the audience imagine together with you as the performer. I don't think we do that in any other medium.
I love that, and I think that I'm a strong proponent of that not to dumb down, theater for people. Let people create. I find that a lot in. Sometimes people want to overspell children's theater and things, and you're like, my gosh, let them have that imagination. Let them look and create, because it's incredible.
Yeah.
And have a talk back, or if you can, I don't know what kind of follow up do you guys do after? Do you have a post-mortem or?
For us,
Yes.
we certainly sit down and we do surveys for our audience members and for the artists and say, what did you see? What do you want to see? In fact, that led this year to our KidZone that we're introducing. So we heard
Great.
from some of our audience members that they had discovered the Fringe Festival when they were in their late teens, early 20s. Now they were having families, and they wanted to introduce their kids to the Fringe Festival. But there weren't a lot of options for that. So we are introducing the KidZone, which will be free performances right outside of the IF Theater, in those gaps between the other shows.
Isn't that funny? I mean, I didn't even know that was happening. I'm saying that's wonderful that you're doing that. So,
Really?
all right. Well, it looks like we have to take a moment for a little break to hear from our sponsor, Randy Sorrell. So we'll be back in just a moment with Paul Daly.
Hey everyone, we're lucky enough to have artist Randy Sorrell as our sponsor. And today, he's going to show you a few of his beautiful pieces.
Check this out.
Say hello to Songbook Standards. This is an original acrylic, part of my music series that I completed in 2024. Sort of celebrating jazz and blues and cool clubs all across the nation, or the world. And if you dig music, man, you are going to love this one. Lavender Fields is part of my landscape series, and if you could see this in person, you would recognize how thick and juicy and packed full of color this painting is, and it really captures the lavender fields that you see in France and, sometimes here in Indiana. I think you're going to love this one.
Well, welcome back to No Title Needed. We are here with our incredible guest, Mr. Paul Daly from IF Theater and home of the Indy Fringe. And we were just talking about, first thing, the KidZone that is new this year, what's really exciting. And my question during break, and so we wanted to bring it back here, was I thought that the acts just stayed in place, and realizing that they moved, and how many shows they do each, and how they're chosen too. That's another thing. It'd be interesting.
Great. And so they are set for a venue. It's not like they're moving from venue to venue. But within the 11 days, most of them perform 6 times. And that is spread out so that's because part of the other issue is that artists always want the prime slot, the best time to perform. And so they all have to do a couple of those prime slots, but they also do some of the slots that are not as well attended sometimes.
Sure.
And it spreads it out. And then some of our out-of-town guests perform 3 times. And that way they can come in for one weekend and move on to another Fringe Festival. Fringe festivals have sort of become the modern-day vaudeville circuit.
It's incredible. So, Ed, how do you select?
We select using a lottery. All the Fringe festivals kind of operate a little bit differently. Ours is a lottery. And what I found my first year here was that we had a lot of one type of performance. It was a lot of improv. And I love improv. But when I go to a festival, I want to see a mix of things.
Absolutely.
And I talked about how it was a performing arts festival. I wanted to get all those performing arts in there. So what I instituted my first year as my own festival was 5 slots of any one genre. And then we would move on. If a 6th improv show was pulled in that lottery, it was set to the side for the wait list, and we pulled another one.
Do you have do you have any kind of censorship? I mean, is it who can go into that lottery? Just anyone, or?
So the way that Fringe Festivals started was in Edinburgh right after World War II. And Edinburgh wanted to heal the world with art. And they invited these performances to come and everybody in the world to come see the performances. What they didn't do was invite locals to perform. And that really upset the locals. So they performed on the Fringe of Edinburgh during that time. And the idea has become that everybody deserves the right to present their story.
Absolutely. That's a really cool background. I like knowing that.
Yeah, that's what the lottery is doing, is saying everybody has this right. We don't have space for everyone, but we give you the chance to share your story.
I think that is so interesting. So it's just luck of the draw, really.
Yes.
You know, and you may have said this, and forgive me if you did, but how many people apply? How many do you get?
This year, for the first time ever, as far as I know, we had more applicants that we had to turn away than we were able to accept, which is heartbreaking, but also it's great. We're growing and people are excited to come to us.
Mm-hmm.
And do you, I guess this is a silly question, so because it's a lottery, but if somebody keeps getting picked and picked and picked, I guess, and those other people never do, I guess it's just, again, the luck of the draw.
It is just the luck of the draw. Yes.
Well, I did not know, honestly, about the Fringe on the outside.
That's fun.
So now,
really cool.
Tell us about you. So I did read, I believe that you are originally from Kokomo. Is that correct?
I am from Kokomo.
I got one right.
Yeah. Kurt Vonnegut always talks about the city that he wrote about repeatedly. He said he based it on Kokomo, Indiana, a city that always tried to draw the arts and never succeeded. And there's a lot of truth to that, but they did have an amazing children's theater that I was a part of.
Excellent. And so you were there, and then what next? So Kokomo, then kind of give us your journey.
Yeah. So I went to Indiana University and got my theater degree. I met a grad student there who he and I really gelled. We liked doing the same kind of work. We both ended up in New York City after graduating, and we started a theater company out there, Rabbit Hole Ensemble.
Great.
And so that was a great time. Our first year, actually, we were accepted into 2 festivals, including the Fringe Festival in New York City.
That's incredible.
And I was able to see what Fringe festivals could do for those young theater companies. It was really a huge step for us in our company. And then I went and did many things. I ran an arts center down in Bloomington, Indiana. I taught at Indiana University. I taught at University of Tennessee at Martin. I taught at Bloomington High School North. And then I performed in Indy Fringe Festival in 2023.
Oh.
And when the role opened up to be executive director, I knew what the festival could do for people. I loved the kind of work that appeared there, and it just felt like the right place for me.
It seems like, what a great fit. And how lucky to have somebody who has this much experience all over. Did I read that you were in London? Were you?
I was in London briefly. Right after I graduated, I went to a work abroad program and was in London. Oddly enough, that same grad student was also in England at the same time. We did a little bit of work together in England.
Cool.
And then ended up in New York together. And it was never planned, just accidental, but it was
Nice and familiar.
accident. Yes.
So so you have this is the next big journey, of course, is the Fringe Festival and the biggie. And then right after that finishes, like what is the next week after that for you? So you're like, is it just breathing and maybe having a cocktail and sleeping, or
I wish. I would love to sleep after. A lot of it is then cleanup. and we have to get all the venues taken care of. We have to make sure we give 70% of all ticket sales back to the artists. So a lot of my time right after that is getting these artists paid for the work they've done.
Wonderful. So they get paid to do that. That's terrific.
Yes. Yeah. And that's why Fringe festivals have become a modern day vaudeville circuit. It's an opportunity for artists to own their own product and take it from place to place and get paid to do that work.
Oh,
Fantastic.
incredible. And I think about, too, what you were saying about audiences. You were talking about there's the prime slot and there's the slot that isn't. So I don't know, as all of us as performers, that sometimes I learn the most, with an audience that is a smaller audience or an early, or a different time. You're not, sometimes you get those prime slots and you fill it with your friends or you fill it with something and you have a work that you've created. You want an honest, there's nothing like having just especially with comedy or something, having just a few people there and to see if
How those jokes land.
exactly when you don't have somebody who's like, you're great, I think that's a learning
Oh,
experience.
absolutely. And I find that those audience members are also the ones that will come up and talk to you directly after and say, I really loved this part of it. What were you thinking here? And just hearing those kinds of questions and comments is wonderful feedback.
And that's with us. We do what's called the lab series, and so we do new works there, and that is the best thing is getting that valuable feedback. I mean, that is, people are like, oh, I was afraid. I'm like, please say something, and if you have something to say later, write an email, tell someone, because that's what it's about. You're putting your work out there, and especially if you want it to go further. One of the people in our one of our workshops is that you have a few people that end up going to Fringe, and I think it's just such a wonderful opportunity.
Yes, and that's, you're hitting on everything I love about it. So I go back to the vaudeville idea, and that's how the Marx Brothers got such wonderful films, is that they took those shows on the road through vaudeville and perfected it from that audience feedback and then put it on film. And also, I love the notion that you are able to see how different regions of the country respond to what you're doing.
Absolutely. And that's creating content too, like what will fly here. And I'm sure I'm sure that's same for different fringes, right? What will fly in New York
Yes.
might not fly here.
Yeah.
I mean, truly, it's you have all different kinds of audiences. What do you feel like looking at your audiences, kind of the level of understanding, here to the product? I mean, do they just know what they're getting into? Are they, just like...
That's a great question. Some of people are totally on board, totally game. They'll step in and go, let's see what you've got today. And I love those audience members. I also love the audience members who go, I don't know what I'm getting into, and I'm a little bit scared of this.
It happens.
And so what we're introducing this year is curated experiences. If you aren't sure how to find your way in, or you look at that list of 60 plus acts and go, I don't even know where to begin, then we're going to say, hey, if you're looking for an eclectic mix, here are the shows to see. If you're looking for comic pieces, here are the shows to see. Interested in dance, here are the shows to see. And that way you can just look and go, okay, here's 5 shows that they're saying fit into what I'm interested in.
How do you get a hold of that? Like the person to do that for you? I know you all. I know you have a website, right, where we can get to tell everybody where you can get tickets. Are they available now at the tickets?
Yes, tickets are available now. That's at indyfringe.org.
Perfect.
And at that same website will be the link to those curated experiences once we have that ready.
I think that's so important because for me, I would just probably go, hey, whatever, but still, or see where my friends are, of course you're going to do that. But I would be so interested to take a couple of those tours because you kind of can't see everything, I would think.
And too many options can be overwhelming.
Yes, and we have to know that not everybody is like you and I, totally into the theater world.
Right.
And when they look at something like that, they're like, I don't even know how to begin.
Right.
So I want to give them a way to begin.
And you don't want someone who's like taking a chance and you kind of see if they're like, I definitely don't like this kind of theater, and they walk in and they're turned off and never come back. So I think that's brilliant. How much are tickets?
Tickets range. Typically, they're around $20, but we do have some pay what you can shows as well. So,
And $20 is like, you can go to
anything? I mean,
$20 will buy you a ticket to any show. We also have Flex Passes, which are $99. It's essentially 6 shows for the cost of 5. And those can be used in any way you want. So you can go see 6 different shows with that Flex Pass. You can go see 3 shows with your partner, or you can take 5 of your favorite friends to see 1 show with you. And then with that Flex Pass, we do the Subscribe It Forward, where if you buy a Flex Pass, you can gift a free Flex Pass to somebody who's never been to the festival before.
oh, that's really nice.
So for $100, you get 12 performances.
And all of that is on the website
That's all on the website. Yes.
and explain, because that's great information, and it's a lot. To be like to do that, you can make that Flex Pass. It's truly flexible any way you want.
Yeah, so we try to make it easy, but I know that it is difficult your first time doing it. So we have a How to Fringe page on our website that will help explain all of this.
Right.
Perfect.
I'm looking forward to my first Fringe.
Tell you, well, and knowing that since we started at the same time, I've always just wanted to be a part of it and do it, and it's always happens that it's during something else. But I think this year I can actually go, and I would love to do that, at least maybe Flex Pass. That's great, and gift someone. Well, it's been wonderful.
I'll be a recipient if you're.
I see. Now he's training it for tickets. I'm like, wait a minute. But I think what you're doing is wonderful. I think it's just how perfect. I mean, you're so brand new here. Barely 2 years is nothing, but you're so experienced, and I can see the passion you have for this. So thank you so much for being here and being our guest.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Paul Daly, If Theater, helm of the Indy Fringe. Get your tickets. What's that website again?
IndyFringe.org.
IndyFringe.org. Get on there. Thank you to the beautiful Feinsteins in Hotel Carmichael. And we're here. Again, I'm Judy Fitzgerald.
And I'm Scott Osborne.
And thank you all for joining us for No Title Needed.